Farm and at Kagan Stadium as the Stanford Cardinal get ready to take on the Clemson Tigers. It's a 14 versus 9 matchup here, and my name is Alejandro Flores here with Carson Trail. Carson, what a game we have ahead of us, a potential ACC matchup here between Clemson and the ACC. Clemson 5th in the ACC, so if it stays that way all the way into the postseason, they're a first-round matchup.
Yeah, some other teams in the mix as well. Syracuse, who Clemson already beat by 9 goals to, Syracuse beat them. Yeah, Clemson beat Syracuse 9 goals to 8 earlier in the season, and schematically they match up very similarly to
Dakota Yui is ready with the draw control. 44 draw control wins so far this year for the Cardinals. She's been the main girl at the helm to this point. And she's going to help the Cardinal win another one right off of the bat. Harris Masaraki was the one who got it over the line. And here comes the Clemson offense, one of the top offenses in the ACC. And that's a lot due to Lindsay Marshall as Stanford's defense makes their presence known early as well.
Couple of errant passes drawing early conclusions to possessions. Another turnover caused there, but the transition pass too far. No shot
on goals from either side. Clemson can't force the turnover there, so Stanford has a chance again. 70 seconds on the shot clock to run their offense. Still looking for their first shot attempt.
Almost had the counterattack.
Another whistle blows. And again, Stanford's going to have an opportunity to reset. So this possession now really starting to take some time off the clock.
Yeah, very late whistle from the officials there for a stick in the sphere.
The Cardinal have yet to test Lamparter to this point.
Using Stanford's, they look like they're playing man-to-man defense. Trying to get them spaced out underneath, and that time couldn't hang on.
And the man-on-man defense works for the Cardinal right there. Matching up well against the Tigers. And here comes Stanford again. Their last possession took up the full shot clock with 2 shot attempts as well in that possession. Away from the Clemson all-time career record for total points. But she has some competition to face with that as well. Moving inside, Elise Murphy, one of the top assist leaders for this Cardinal team. Talk about one of the top goal scorers right there, Poliski. And another possession upcoming for the Cardinal. And this is the most dangerous part of the game of lacrosse. You're not guaranteed a possession back, and this is where Stanford could really dominate. When they start winning these draw controls, they start to mount up these offensive possessions, and then they can start building a lead.
And if you stay on offense, the opposing defense at times can get tired out. Stanford have felt this firsthand, times when they have not had
this point. And they're still trying to figure out their offensive rhythm as they face a Cardinal double team working on the back end. Trying to weave around and doing so to keep the possession alive. That's Lindsay Marshall who kept it alive. Inside, that pass is going to go high.
To really take your mind off some defense that perhaps, they'd probably like to improve upon. That time, Elise Murphy in transition goals for the Cardinal, and all of a sudden, you look up, they got a couple in this quarter. Chance to really open things up against Clemson.
And that's the biggest thing we can mention about this Cardinal team really throughout the whole entire season, right, is how Tigers and Clemson still looking for their first goal of this game as the offense sets up. And another defensive stop, whistle blows.
Yui stepped out, I think.
Looks like it was a foot out of bounds. Katie Castiello. She's the one going from the right side. Castiello can't break the ice. The Tigers reset the possession, moving from the top. Lindsay Marshall
No surprise at all to see her come through eventually.
It's a big score there for the Clemson Tiger, who for a second, it was looking like they were going to get shut out in quarter one. The score is 2-1, a very defensive first quarter to this point. And surprising when you're talking about a Stanford Cardinal team and a Clemson team that have great offenses through and through. Yes. Clemson here with
we'll definitely see on this possession. Stanford just before Poliski went down with the green card.
And Stanford is continuing what you mentioned, those draw controls. They win another. And Stanford has another opportunity to get it again to a 2-score lead.
And yeah, none of the errant passes that we've seen from either side have been unforced. It's been because of tight coverage, because of face coverage.
Clemson looking to tie, pulling back, and Clemson deciding to reset their offense. They have 30 seconds left to go on the shot clock.
They have been patient on a couple of those free positions. One of those translated into a goal.
Castiello working inside. Her pass is high and out of control, but closest to it is Lick. So that tightening defense of the Clemson Tigers loosens his grip just a little bit with one player down. That ball is loose again. Stanford picking it up.
And she's been keeping this game close despite Stanford's dominance in controlling draws.
And that's a big missed opportunity for the Cardinal. As coming back in 3 seconds is Blair Byrne. Now way outside of the goal right now is Lamparter. What an interesting play at this moment. No Tigers still left for her to pass to, and she finally finds one.
Yeah, Clemson has been playing very physical defense so far, and they've paid the appropriate prices so far. Not a lot of free position attempts surrendered, but still something to monitor going forward.
Oh, something to monitor is that shot. Riley Bouvier, what a fantastic acrobatic shot. And the Stanford Cardinals draw control for the Tigers.
And again, that's one that, you ask Danielle Spencer, Stanford may have had control there as well.
Cutting through and deciding to hold on to it is Lindsay Marshall. She already has a score on the day, the only one for the Clemson Tiger.
Will Clemson make any schematic adjustments going forward?
What a start to the day two for Ava Arceri. 2 assists, 1 goal. She's had her fingerprints all over this lead right now to the point for the Cardinal. 4-1 the score. Another draw control. And
very late whistle.
Very late whistle, but it's going to go to find a clean shot here in quarter two. Aaliyah Poliski has it. Pass inside. Ava Arceri, keep an eye out for her already with the score today. Martha Oki is going to send it back. And Stanford rotating it around. 4-1 the score. 33 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Clemson looking for their second score of the day. Shirtleff continuing to without Natalie Shirtleff, and Oki has a free position opportunity upcoming. Oki decides to pull back, full 90 seconds on the shot clock, and Stanford is going to take advantage of their player advantage. Assist from Lindsay Marshall. And Clemson again, for the second time today, they get a late No goals. Anytime she's right down the middle, you can guarantee it's going in the net. 5-2, Stanford leads.
And as good as Lamparter has been, Poliski just with too much on that. That one, you know, she's taken quite a few shots, has not been shooting at her typical efficient clip. And Lampard deserves a lot of credit for that, and Poliski able to cash into her credit.
Leah Poliski with a fastball.
But a couple of players tumbling over each other for the Cardinal there, eventually drawing.
And that's the one thing that isn't helping right now either for Clemson. They are not getting too many calls their way. It's 16-8 in the foul category in favor of Clemson, and you don't want to be in favor when talking about that category. You want to be under. As well is going to force a yellow card.
Yeah, Goldstein really a blatant stick in the sphere call there. That time a pretty late whistle. Couldn't see by the reaction of Kate Bellissimo, like, where's the whistle? Turns out there it was, and Stanford a woman up.
So that's the last thing that Clemson needs in this moment, 2 minutes. So Stanford just wants to keep pace. If Duke falters at any point, they could possibly move up to number 3, and that makes a big difference when talking about matchups versus a 4 versus 5 or a 3 versus 6. When looking ahead, if you're playing one of the 5 seeds, you're looking at Clemson or Syracuse. But if it have liked, but really it was those fouls that always allowed them to get free position opportunities, reset their offense, and they got the breakthrough to get 4 scores in that first half. But now it is ballooned in this third quarter. 3 scores already. They have a chance to match all the work that they just did in the first half here in quarter.
Jogging off the field.
Yeah, not a great sign. One of the top defenders for this Cardinal defense. Bellissimo is going to sub out for a second. See if she can get checked up. But here comes Stanford on the offensive side now. Ava Arceri with it. Working inside. Arceri is fouled.
Opportunity for a hat trick here.
Ava Arceri already with 2 goals, 2 assists, and still being a second half team. And we're seeing it right here in quarter 3. The Cardinal with 4 scores. Poliski, she's looking for her hat trick as well. She's picked up more than several this year already. As that one gets away from her and Clemson takes over, but another knockaway and a caused turnover for the Cardinal. They get to turn it around here. 3-on-3. Inside. A quick turnaround shot. And everything going the Cardinal way. Lindsay Dever.
That's just a fantastic shot right there, and right away she points out to who gave her the assist. Martha Sting.
Martha Oki, a 2-time U.S. Lacrosse All-American in high school. And as a freshman this year, she has made her impact. No foul call is made. A 9-2 over the Clemson Tigers. And everything has gone wrong for the Tigers here in the second half. As you mentioned, they're down 2 players right now. 1 player sitting out due to a yellow card, and 1 player they have to have permanently out due to the fact of the amount of yellow cards that they've had already.
Yeah, Clemson.
Lindsay Marshall has been a contributor to the Tigers. 2 scores, a goal and an assist. But Marshall has yet to find a shot attempt in quarter 3. Tigers passing it around. Picked up by the Tigers. And here they go. 10-2 the score. Clemson just trying to get some life back. and moving quick down the field, and another save by Lucy Pearson. A chain link fence right in front of the net.
That was Augustino in charge of that counterattack. She's back in ice too. Just because it's in someone else's pocket doesn't mean, you know, that the play is necessarily over. The draw control team, even after officially losing that draw control for Stanford, a lot of times would just come back and jar the ball loose.
Still, it's been a fantastic season for this Tigers team, and even if they don't win this one, with the record they have, they're still very likely to be in a good spot for the ACC tournament. And again, as we've mentioned already before this game, this could be a matchup that we see again one more time. And if they do play again, it'll be a fun rematch.
Yeah, it would. I think Aaliyah Poliski stepped off sides. And she's going to receive her green card.
So Poliski's going to have to take a seat for 1 minute. So Clemson, 1 minute.
Standing game for her in the draw team.
Bryce Funstein, she moves it ahead. We haven't called her name too much today. As the midfielder pushes back, and now the Clemson offense gets going. Bonded to the Cardinals' third quarter. 5 now for Clemson in the fourth. It's 12-7, and here we go.
And offensively for Clemson, they have controlled the pace of this final quarter. That's exactly the tone they wanted to strike, coming off of a third quarter shutout. Stanford outscoring them 6-0. Stanford still taking the shot there instead of letting the game clock wind down. Now under 3 minutes left.
So Clemson down 6. As you mentioned, 3 minutes left to go. And the Tigers.
Against the Clemson offense that's really heated up over the past 12 to 15 minutes or so. It's been an impressive performance for the Tigers, and I think Stanford kind of acknowledged that, still being aggressive on offense.
What an impressive second half outing for the Stanford Cardinal. And they have their sights set on senior day. Looking ahead to Sunday, Stanford